Hello, everybody, and welcome to Damsels and Dice.
Where it's a little dicey, but this is how we roll. Oh shit, I didn't know my dice are! 13. It's gonna be an okay.
11.
No, it's a 5!
Great. This is shaping up to be all sorts of wonderful. And you all are still nerds.
Of course. It's not working.
What's not working?
I keep scooting it over, but it's not working.
Your earthquake. I'm trying to make an earthquake.
Did that work? Okay, that's a little better. I have a blanket, and we're about to embark on something. I don't even remember the last thing we did. We fell asleep at the start.
Well, with that, let's go ahead and get into a handy-dandy recap from what we did last time. The two cousins, Talavin and Nora Naerstar, have been traveling along the Hhatu Strip and have finally made it out of the swamps, trying to help their sprite friend, Talel, and the other sprites who have unfortunately been captured, tormented, and some of them subjected to even worse. After a relatively successful encounter with various nobles, they managed to free the sprites in their care and intend to travel along the northern strip, heading east in hopes to free the rest of them. They stopped by a small town known for fighting and ran into a bit of a snag where two individuals who have been hired by the nobles who they might have peace.
You know, it's fine.
Burning down their house might have had something to do with it.
Yeah.
Ended up finding two assassins as part of this, essentially a group of individuals known as the 11 Spires. A discussion was had on what to do with these individuals. Unfortunately, things ended up turning south, and the two cousins, as well as their other party members, Zoom, the half-orc ranger, and the sprites in their care, have fled east as fast as they could. Ended up encountering a group of individuals who essentially were going through initiation, and initially, they did the right thing, or what they believed was the right thing, letting them go. However, they were later ambushed by the exact same group in the most ridiculous manner possible. Unfortunately, only one of these members remained. They ended up taking a young boy with them. That doesn't sound very good. How do I say this? An adolescent. They ended up taking this adolescent boy with him in hopes to possibly steer him in the right direction.
Killing his twin. You got him. Yeah, I got him. I'm gonna go clean this off real quick.
His name was... Hang on, where's his name?
Elrid. It's in my notes.
Elrid.
The boy's name is Elrid.
Elrid. They ended up arriving in a small shepherd town called Northon. And from there, after reaching out to two other companions of theirs, Jacob and Wyatt, besought them to come, touch base, see if they could possibly aid one another in future ventures, as the cousins have, again, found themselves in a bit of a hard time. And that, at the closing of once again being reunited with Jacob and Wyatt, telling tales of old, sparring together, you will fall into a peaceful sleep and wake up the next morning. No dreams come to you, which is unfortunate.
Kept watch, FYI. Definitely kept watch.
Go ahead and make a perception check. If you kept watch.
Natural 20.
No good way to start off the night.
2. With my perception, 27.
Oh, yikes. Yeah, ain't nothing getting past you. For the evening, nothing seems to come your way. The sheep have been shepherded forward into their various stables and holding pens. There are a few individuals patrolling around the outside, ensuring that nothing comes in, attacks them, as there have been a few interesting reports recently that The sheep were being attacked by something. They were looking for someone to help guard their livestock. The next watch, Nora, goes without issue. You don't notice anything except for the evening breeze, which reminds you of your home back in the Merryweather Timber Grove. You fall asleep. Others take their watch. And the two sons, Targaryen and Una, both begin crusting over the nearby horizon. What do you intend to do for the day?
Okay, there was something that I wanted to try to do, and I only remembered it later. So, early in the morning, as Nora's doing her, little stretches, not calisthenics, one of those stretchy things.
Yoga-ish Pilates.
Something like that, yeah. She is going to, draw out, is there a nice patch of dirt somewhere that she can maybe draw a sigil for funsies?
There's plenty of dirt nearby. I mean, you have to push the grass out of the way.
Okay, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to redraw the sigil that Jasper completed.
If you want my notes.
Yeah, if I have trouble completing it, then I'll probably ask you.
Okay.
Just
because I said that I wrote all of that down.
Yeah, like the null magic one.
Okay.
It's all in my book of nitbits.
Yeah, nitbits.
You draw into the ground. How big are you making it?
Probably this big. She's gonna stand on it. That's the goal.
About 3 feet? Okay.
Yeah. About 3 feet.
Nice. Simple enough.
She's gonna stand.
You draw the sigil into the ground. Go ahead and make an intelligence check.
I have. Oh, wait, check. 12.
12. There are some elements which you feel like you've managed to perfect. Others you're not so certain about.
You want me to come help you?
I'm gonna test it first. Kind of take a standpoint where I'm not gonna hurt anyone, and then I'm gonna do Eldritch Blast.
Alright. You... As you release, this beam of verdant energy coalesces in your hand as you thrust forward. It goes across and fades.
Okay, so it works. Now, I'm going to stand on it. See if it nulls out my magic.
You go and you stand inside of the circle.
And I'm going to point it, I guess, in the same direction or up or somewhere. Just and try to do Eldritch Blast again.
Nothing.
Okay, so it nulls out magic inside of it too. I remembered that and I forgot.
I need to see how long it lasts.
Well, it's a sigil, so I think it...
But remember, because it said eventually it wore out.
Yeah, it did kind of dissolve after a while.
Mm-hmm.
We need to figure out how, because it could be useful.
Or just against us.
I mean, both. We can use it. We can use it too.
True. Okay. Let me think. That was the main thing I wanted. Can I do just a quick circle of them?
A circle of...
Yeah, so here's a sigil, and kind of connect them.
You want to make a bigger one?
No, I want to make a lot of small ones. And make a circle where it's the center of the circle is, not a sigil, but you're surrounded by them.
Okay. Doing this is probably going to take you the better part of 30 to 45 minutes. There are precise elements to this, and you are carving into the ground. You're trying to make sure that all of this is, gonna stick.
I'm doing it in the mud, though, right? I can wipe it away.
You aren't near mud. You're near dirt.
Okay, dirt. Yeah,
this is dirt.
Okay, just making sure that I'm not, carving it permanently into rock.
Well, no, it fades.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. That's fine. It's fine.
Okay. So for the next 45 minutes or so, you create the same sigil And a nice perimeter. How big do you make it?
Let's see. Since the first one was like 3
perimeter?
feet, I guess I would make maybe 5 of them, so the center would be pretty small.
It'd be very small.
Okay, maybe 6 of them. Around. So, like, a good... I don't know, 3...
I think what she's trying to do is, like, basically, like, there's, like, oh, this is where I'm standing, and she's got, like, 6 sigils surrounding, like, a spot. Like, not huge sigil, just, like, enough to, like, make, like, a little circle in the dirt.
I'm just asking, how big do you make the area? It doesn't matter how many there are. I'm just asking, how big do you want the area on the inside for you to be able to move around?
About 4 feet. Something like that. 3 feet, yeah.
3 to 4 feet?
Yeah, around that. Not big.
There would be enough room for you in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You managed to make it.
Now that they're like...
And only you can stand in it.
Okay, so then I stand in it. In the center. Does it null in my magic if I do Eldritch Blast again? If I, like, point it upwards?
The same burn energy coalesces and shoots directly upwards.
So it's only whenever you're within the sigil. I guess it could be really big, but also... Yeah, okay.
I wonder if we could put it on things to nullify stuff. Like, I wonder if you could paint it onto a shield, and it could nullify magic that, like, hits the shield.
That'd be interesting.
Because it almost sounds like a dispel magic. Didn't I learn that it was like it had elements of dispel magic?
There were elements of it. The way that the sigil works, and for the listeners who are just now tuning in, whenever they were trying to find out what was going on with the sprites, they ended up coming across a package, this set of documents that had many different sigils inscribed, scratched out, torn. And some of the ones that seemed to correspond in the documents as a success had dispel magic, counterspell-ish elements to it. But the sigils and the way it was constructed, designed, was very reminiscent of a dispel magic kind of spell.
Okay. Does Talavin perceive me doing this up in the corner?
You're not being stealthy. Yes, everyone sees you.
Okay, good.
Everyone's watching you. I'm just over there, like, making tea and breakfast, and just like, what the fuck is she?
Jacob looks over at you. Is she okay?
You know, she enhances armor and stuff, you know, so I think she's just trying to, like, figure out how this new thing we found works. Just maybe don't get too close.
Right. No, absolutely not. I don't plan on doing that. Is that tea? May I?
Yes, and I will hand him some.
He takes it. Ooh, it's hot. Do you need any help?
What?
Do you need any help with all of this? I can crack eggs or...
I'm almost
Great.
Almost done. Thank you, though.
Well, I'm useless. You're Wyatt. Yeah, you are. Wilson gives him a side eye, like...
Okay. Fucking shit. It's been too long. My D&D control is like...
I don't know how to play before.
I don't know what...
It's been like 3 weeks since we've played.
I'll, like, hand him, like a rag to, like, hold it around so he's not here.
Oh, thanks. Well,
Stop looking at Madison's face.
what? Is there something wrong with my face?
Nope, there's nothing wrong with your face.
You're turning a different color. That's unusual.
It's the fire.
Oh, pink there?
Nope, it's the fire.
Oh, right.
It's the fire. I'm just like leaning.
Roll a persuasion check.
Fuck.
Oh,
That's not good. Oh, my persuasion's pretty good. 15.
15? just gives you this keen look and shakes his head. Right, the fire.
It's the fire.
Anyway.
Ridiculous.
I can't even take notes. I can't do it. It's too much. I'm too happy to be playing D&D that I literally can't focus on actually playing D&D.
This is what happens when you're gone for 2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. It's been like a month and a half, Madison. She was up there with you for a month.
It's only 3 weeks.
It's been a month.
Anyway. It was just wrong.
What exactly is our strategy here? I mean, I assume that, you know, obviously we can't all fit in that, but that doesn't necessarily apply to me. What's our game plan? Are we going after these people that are chasing after you, or do we need to wait for her to stop drawing sticks?
I'm off in the distance.
Oh, God.
I'm not part of this conversation.
Well, we haven't really talked about whether or not we're going to either confront them, hunt them, or just run away from them. So we're not totally sure on an action plan. So yeah, it would probably be best if Nora, stop playing with her sticks and come eat breakfast.
Pretends not to hear you.
I shoot an Eldritch Blast at her. I'm just kidding.
I'm surrounded by...
I don't have anything that I could just throw at you. How far away are you, maybe?
She's about 30 feet or so away.
30 feet?
That's within striking distance.
It is within striking distance. I will shoot a lightning... No, I'm just kidding. I won't do anything. I'll just yell over to her, and if she doesn't come, I'll just throw her portion of the food into the fire. I'm just kidding. I'll set it away from the fire so it starts to get cold as I go around passing everybody else's out.
They help gladly, and you see your Spritian friends are currently just stretching, watching the sunrise. They're not really saying too much.
How does Talavin and Jin look? Talavin. Oh, God. Talel. How does Talel and Jin look?
For being grammatically correct, it's how do Talel and Jin look, but I'm going to overlook that.
It's tricky today, aren't we?
They seem... Everything that's going on between them right now, it seems like they're dealing with it, they're coping with it.
Obviously, there's not a lot of, like, private time for them to, like, you know... Yeah, maybe we should think about that soon. Maybe, like, go somewhere where they can, like, just talk by themselves and not have spice with them and stuff. Okay, you're not there, but that's Sophia talking to Mackenzie.
Yeah, they're currently leaning up against the edge of the bag, and his arm is around her, just rubbing her shoulder. She's leaning into him.
Before I give her tea, I'll put some of that yonder stuff in it that I bought.
Okay.
Whatever it was, I don't remember. It's
I think she's
Columbine.
Columbine, yeah. Like a little.
Okay.
Her and Angela.
Are you trying to be stealthy about it, or are you just putting it in there?
Well, I mean, I'll just pull it out as if I'm putting more mint into the... I mean, I guess...
Roll sleight of hand.
Yes, yeah. Ooh, that's pretty good. Ooh, my sleight of hand isn't super great. 16.
16. Jen takes hers, and thank you. Talel, on the other hand, is like, actually, one moment, he takes it and pushes it down. He's like, Talavin, may I have a word with you for a moment?
Oh, dear God. I'll go over and be like, yes.
If we could step over to the side. Please.
Why do I have to have all the awkward moments with Talel? Like, why is this me? I'm going to start doing Eldritch Blast into a Dispel circle, so I don't have to deal with this. I'll go over to the side, whatever.
Okay, you take him over to the side. He folds his arms like, I appreciate what it is that you're doing. Yes, it does help with a great many things. It also enhances others. perhaps, for the time being.
What the fuck? I'm looking this shit up. What the hell? The fuck did this bitch give me?
Are you aware of all of its effects?
Apparently not.
Columbine is a very, in various doses, obviously. It can work as, to help make your emotions more thoughtful, more positive. It is also rumored as a love potion. One of the primary ingredients for various folktale.
I think Madison tricked you.
Yeah, I know, I think she did. And I think from now on I will never believe anything Madison says to me. This is nice. Good job, Madison. You continued breaking trust with your friends here.
It's not on me if you don't know what it does and you listen to the folk people.
If you don't tell me, technically I only know how much you've let me know because
that is true.
Because technically I can't just go researching on the internet and be like, oh, I already know these things. Because then the DM will be like, no, you don't know those things. So technically I only know as much as you allow me to.
And he's letting you know what it does.
And so from now on I will only stick to dandelions. I will use no other herb but peppermint. No more healing herbs for me. It'll be only magic.
That's a good safe herb.
Yes. I mean, I tasted it before. I'm sure Jen did as well. She certainly let me know yesterday morning. Right in front of Spice. You can see his ears pinken.
He's my entire face pinken.
Like, again, I very, very much appreciate it, but perhaps you could put that on reserves.
Perhaps I will do some more research before I give people herbs that witches give to me.
Right. Thank you again for the sentiment. It does mean a lot. And she's doing all right. We're doing all right. If that's what you're thinking of.
Oh, yes. Well, I apologize. I will do more research by myself. Without the help of my DM.
Who? Is that the deity you worship?
Yes, it is one of them. One of several. There's a bunch of people in my head.
I don't really understand the divine very much, but I will respect that.
Yeah, okay, well, my bad.
You take him back over and he whispers something to Jen. You can just see her blush as she looks over and gives you a wink. Which is more in character for her.
It's like... I stick my face over the fire.
Wave the flames over your face. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Ooh. That's a 19.
19.
No, that is not.
The fire
pops and
crackles as you're hovering over it and you duck back before it has a chance to pop your slightly scarred face.
No. It just adds to the effect.
Nora, right about this time you've finished creating your circles and can do what you will with it.
Okay, I was just testing it to see,
I guess I shouldn't have been giving it to him. I feel like I should have known that he would know that there was things in the tea. He's literally a potion master. I'm an idiot.
That's okay. I mean, no, you're not. It's just, the situation is okay.
I'm even proficient in intelligence. What is wrong with me?
I've been asking that to myself. for myself after the last episode. And anyway, I'm going to, I don't know, see if there's a connection. Can I, shoot into one and see if it leads to another? I don't know. If I, shoot...
Are you standing inside of the circle or are you standing outside the circle?
Inside the circle.
Alright,
I'll try both.
Standing inside. You cast... And it starts as you are within the 3-foot space inside. Starts, dissipates, and does not exit the other side.
Okay, so I was standing within my empty circle.
Within the empty spot where you created all of the circles all the way around.
Okay.
And you're standing in the middle, and you began shooting out an eldritch blast, and it dissipated.
Okay.
It did not exit.
Cool. So then I'm gonna step outside and do the same thing to the inside and see if it yeah.
Okay. You cast again.
It just
dissipates.
Okay. There was one other test I wanted to do.
I have so many questions when I'm not there.
I mean, you are there.
I know, but I'm not physically looking.
At this point, you're probably sticking your head in the fire.
Yeah, probably.
Do you want to come over? Talavin.
Because I had a couple questions. So I know she drew several. Are they all? And I know the last time we were using it, it was slowly deteriorating the sigil, and before it vanished.
Mm-hmm.
Is just one in particular deteriorating at a time, or are they all deteriorating as she goes?
The ones that she actually go ahead and make an investigation check.
Do you voice this out loud?
Well, I mean, I'm pointing at them, but that is the first one I've rolled in a long time. Not gonna lie.
From what you can tell, between the grass and everything else, it's hard to discern if there's any difference in the sigils.
Investigate. That's a 16.
16? Nora, you do notice that the sigils that you were pointed at directly do seem slightly faded, as if the ground had been smudged over them.
So the ones that I shot at?
The ones that you shot at and the ones that you tried to shoot through.
Okay, so if I just kept shooting one in particular, would it disappear? If I just keep shooting Eldritch Blast, I'm gonna do that.
You go over to one that seems slightly more faded than the others and dissipates. Dissipates on the opposite end.
Okay.
We need to figure out how many times it can counter. Because Eldritch is just a cantrip. What if it can't? What if it does? Cantrips aren't as powerful.
That is true, but I only have a certain amount of spell slots. I don't know what we're doing today. I'm just gonna count how much. Okay, so going to one that's I haven't shot through yet.
Okay.
How many times can I shoot Eldritch Blast through it? Before it dissipates.
It is on your 6th time that it goes through.
Okay. And then if I smudge the lines for one of them, does that break the sigil?
You can try.
I do that.
You smudge it over, step back.
So it just goes through.
It goes through.
Okay.
After being smudged, it seems that the sigil no longer functions.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna... Well, is there anything else? I also tell Talavin what I found about standing within it and shooting upwards and stuff. Anyway.
I mean, I was probably watching you.
Well, yeah, but I'm going to reiterate.
I'd like to actually try something else. There's other... I'm curious if you're within the circle and I'm outside, if I can, reach over and still do magic, if I'm reaching over the sigil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're... But I don't have anything... Wait a second.
I mean,
the light cantrip...
You could even do dancing lights or anything, really.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if I'm on the outside and I reach my hand over one of the sigils so that my hand is on the, away from the sigil, the sigil, I basically place my forearm over one of the sigils so that just my hand is past it, and I want to see if I can cast dancing lights into, the center of the circle. Or if it'll just spell the magic before it can get out.
Okay, you go over to one of the uninjured areas, and you put your arm into the circle. Let me just make sure that I understand. So you put your arm into the circle and try and cast dancing lights within the area that...
Yeah, so I'm standing on the outside of the circle, and then I just reach my arm over enough so that, like, beneath my forearm on the ground is the sigil, so that just my hand is basically past the sigil into the little circle where there's, like, that open space where Nora was originally standing.
Okay. Nothing happens.
What if you tried to cast it, like, outside of the sigil? Oh, okay, so I'm going to... Do I have dancing lights? I do! Okay. I can only do it once per long rest. I'm not going to do that.
It's a cantrip.
Well, for my...
Dancing lights?
For my particular class. It's once per long rest.
Oh, I just have it. I can do it whenever.
So I'm going to stand on the sigil again and stick my hand out and try to cast with the hand that's out, not within the circle.
Like, you put your hand out, so, like, your body is within the sigil, but you kind of lean out so that the arm's out of the sigil.
Okay. And you cast what now?
Let's do...
We'll just do another Eldritch Blast.
No, because then there's nothing to stop it. I'm going to do...
Do you want me to do dancing lights? I'll do it.
Yeah, you can do it.
I'll do it instead, and I'll try to...
You go and you stand inside one of the sigils, extend your arm just outside of the sigil, and with a quick snap, dancing lights form.
Because, I mean, so can I, like, make an intelligence check and just be like... So, I mean, like, obviously, like, the energy, like, flows down through my arm and it comes out through my hand. So, basically, what I'm seeing is, like, it's preventing the magic from exiting. It's kind of, I mean, why would it?
So, it's just there's no magic within that one zone.
I know, but technically, my hand was not out, was because, like, technically, the sigil... Like, my hand was here, and it was just my forearm across the sigil. So, like, why would it work if
because you cast it within the circle. So, like, you tried to put all the little lights that appear within the circle.
Within the circle that didn't have sigils.
Hang on, I think you're...
Hold on,
when you put your forearm into the circle, into the sigil, and tried to cast into the circle, it didn't work. When you in the sigil and extended your arm just outside of the sigil into that area, that open space, it worked.
So then I'm just curious because, like, technically my hand, when I cast the dancing lights, wasn't in the sigil.
Right.
So, like, why would it work?
Well, because it's
with my arm out of the sigil, but not just my hand.
Because there's no magic within that dead zone. Like, no magic can take effect in that.
I know, but your Eldritch Blast technically worked.
How so?
Because, like, I mean, you were doing magic within the circle, within the other circles. It just couldn't leave that space. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just curious as to why, like, I could be...
She was in the dead zone, or she was in a zone surrounded by the dead zone. Mm-hmm. So this is the dead zone. All of these circles surrounding her. She was in here and was able to cast magic.
Uh-huh. And I'm saying my hand
was
in that dead zone where she was casting magic.
The first time, yes.
And it couldn't cast dancing lights.
Right.
So then, but then when I stuck my arm...
It's like the hokey pokey. You're in the circle. You take your arm out of the circle, out of the sigil. So you're standing in the sigil. Put your arm into the circle in that center area. And it worked. When your body was outside like here, and you tried to cast into the circle by putting your hand in here, it didn't work.
So then I'm going to try opposite. I'm going to be in the dead zone, stick my forearm over one of the sigils, and see if I can cast dancing lights outside.
So you stand in the dead zone.
In the circle where she was casting magic. And it was
okay,
working.
In the circle.
And then I'm going to put just my forearm over one of the sigils and try to cast dancing lights on the outside.
Doesn't work.
Because it's originating from your hand. Like,
it's coming down through my arm. If it was just my hand, it would have worked. It would, yeah, because it has to, my whole line has to be out.
I think I get it. But it's not much of a circle anymore because we've dissipated most of them.
There's only one or two that are still functioning properly.
Oh, okay. Well, if we're done, was there any other thing you wanted to try on them?
I don't think so.
Okay. I mean, we can always try again later. I'm going to smudge over the rest of them. Make sure there's no remnants left. Smudge it, smudge.
Make a survival check.
Can I help?
Sure.
Who's got better survival? I'll do.
I got a 17 plus survival 19.
Yeah.
All right, you sufficiently smudge over the areas.
All right, nothing left. Okay, then I'm going to go back to the little area, or camp, mini camp.
Wyatt is currently chuckling. He's got just a little bit of a smile on his face as he's just laughing, very under his breath. As he looks at you, Talavin.
He's laughing at me? I just give him
he's sitting close to Talavin Jin.
I just give him like a glare. Just out of the corner of my eye, I'm just like, my nostrils flare a little bit and I just turn away from him. I'm like, fuck you.
I don't think that he's ever laughed
I don't think he's ever laughed before.
Why does he?
He hasn't.
Oh, that's nice.
Fuck. No, only because he's laughing at me. Not laughing at something I did. God, I'm an idiot.
No, you're not. It's okay. Okay,
Well, but Jacob once again chimes in and says, yeah, I mean, you said that you all were being chased by assassins for burning down a noble's house, which is kind of a big deal, apparently, up here. Are we going after them? Are we running from them? Are we helping protect you from them? Do you need us to smuggle you somewhere else? I mean, we've got our rickety cart. Death trap, that is.
I did a little mending on it, but I don't think it helped that much.
Wyatt, under his breath, says, only because you loaded it wrong. Jacob, again, just... that slow turn sideways. You just see this very faint quirk of a smile on Wyatt.
Having siblings is like breaking my heart right now. This whole sibling shit's like killing Talavin. She's like, oh god, each one of these is like a dagger to my heart. Oh, all these missed memories.
Where is Elrid, by the way? Is he just there?
Is he chilling, hanging out? Is he gone?
He's over in the corner with Zoom. They're watching the sheep being herded.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to leave that kid here.
Yeah.
FYI, Mackenzie.
Sad.
I mean, I think it'd be best for him. He doesn't need to be with us. Because then he'd definitely be killed.
That was unfortunate. I'm Nora again.
Okay.
Sorry. I need to be more character. Okay, let's see. So, it would be preferable if we could avoid the assassins. That would be optimal. Unfortunately, they have a tendency of finding where we are, and no thanks to me the other day.
Why would you do?
We raised quite a ruckus in Bracklewhite.
That was that panicked message, wasn't it? Right, I remember that.
Was that me? Did I do that?
The panicked message?
Yeah. No, I mean, like, did I cause the Bracklewhite issue? I don't remember.
That was me.
Oh.
Because we had those assassins in the room below, and...
I mean, technically that wasn't her fault. Technically they just found them like that. Like stone people.
Well, yes, but I unstoned them, and they told them where we were.
Okay, well, yeah, that was
your fault.
That was your fault.
I take responsibility for them knowing where we are now. Hopefully, we have a couple days head start. I suppose our best bet is to keep going east.
Fine by me. I've been looking to try and get further east with our various productions. Better clientele, at least.
Better than swamp folk?
They don't have a great appreciation for our complimentary concoctions.
Yeah, they don't really seem like the wine folk.
Not quite. Is Elrid... Hey, question. Is Elrid far enough away that he can't hear what we're talking about?
He and Zoom are probably 60 or so feet away.
60? Okay, good. Because if I say where we're going, and then he hears, and then... Anyway,
Perception check, is he listening at all?
60 feet away.
Perception is more like looking and seeing. This would kind of be an insight to see whether or not he's listening in on you guys.
19.
19. He seems to be preoccupied with whatever Zoom is currently pointing to him at. You don't get the sense that he's paying attention.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, glancing over at him, it's like we should probably leave him here. Fortunately.
Yeah, who is the kid?
He's one of the assassins that...
Well, I wouldn't say that he was an assassin. He was an initiate, him and his group.
You see Wyatt's that quirk of a smile as he's just listening to the ridiculousness of the circumstances. He hears that, his hand instinctually goes for his dagger as he's now watching the kid.
Yeah, no, he was an initiate, and the guy that was leading his group was like, oh, well, here's an opportunity to prove yourselves, basically. And even though we kicked their asses into oblivion once, and we let them go, they came back. And then I killed them. I killed all of them, I think. Again. As I'm looking at Nora, just like, I gave him a chance. Okay, I did. I tried.
No, they were gonna keep coming.
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
It's fine. Guess it comes with everything.
Suppose so.
But I guess technically the other one did leave. We did let him go. That one dude that ran off real quick.
He did. I believe you said his name is...
Wyatt looks over. You mean you let another one go?
Look. I had already killed that man once, and he wasn't interested in the second attempt, and he dipped out pretty quick. So, yeah. Look, we're trying to turn over a new leaf.
Take care of all of his buddies all at once, too. Takes out his dagger and just begins playing with it as he shoves his arms underneath his armpits.
Look, I've been trying to turn over a new leaf, and I'm feeling like it's not working out for me. Okay? I try to be nice, and these people come back. And now you're making me feel like they're going to come back more. This is not good.
They probably are going to come back, because that's what assassins do. They're hired for a job.
I literally look Nora dead in her face as he says that, and I'm like, that's what I said in the beginning. Everybody shot me down like I was a fucking idiot.
As he flips his knife over to the kid, and it's like, that one could also be a problem. What makes you think that he's not reporting back? He might not be listening right now, yeah, but...
I mean, as far as...
Who's to say that's going to be a consistent thing?
Well, I mean, as far as we know, he doesn't have any ability to, contact anyone currently. Whether or not...
As far as you know.
I mean, we definitely charmed the two original assassins into telling us quite a bit.
Oh. Because using magic obviously worked for you. I'm just saying, steal finishes the job.
You definitely don't want to get one by one of my inflict wounds, though.
That is true.
Works pretty good. It's one hit.
Shoves the dagger back in his side and just leans back, starts listening again. Smile's gone. Jacob scratches the back of his neck. I mean, I guess making your way east sooner than later is probably ideal.
As easy as it was for me to say that I would have killed those other 2 assassins, I can't kill this kid.
It's one thing in the heat of battle, but...
I would have killed those other 2 cold blood.
I know.
But not this one.
Most of them just are pawns. They're inexperienced. They were so easy to take out. They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, and they're probably too stupid to realize when to quit.
Oh, that's facts, because they came back a second time. I don't know if he'll be a problem, but I think if we found him, they took him and his sister because they were desperate and they had nothing. And I feel like if we could try to find him something here, I feel like he could potentially, I feel like he wouldn't be an issue. They're searching out people that are desperate, and desperate people do desperate things. And I got the feel from him that that's what it was, is that it was a chance to not be desperate anymore.
Why doesn't say anything else? He partially turns away. Jacob chimes in. Well, seems like the regular consensus is to go east, just whether or not to do something with him.
I mean, there was a job board.
Oh yes, did you find him a job?
I mean, I looked. Hold on. There was a guard sheep, defending. There was like a guarding and defending sheep. I need to go see if I can talk to this Samson person and see what kind of job maybe that is, and maybe we can leave him here with that. Maybe see if that is like a permanent job. I mean, I'm sure there's got to be somebody here that needs an extra hand. And if we could find him something permanent, he could be fine here.
Could be. Why don't we say we go talk to him?
The kid?
No, whoever the Samson is.
Oh, okay.
See if the position is still available. It could be that they're looking for a stronger warrior type. That guy's about, I don't know, 2 gusts shy of being blown away himself.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we can go. I'll search. I guess we can go search him out and see what this job is about. Because technically it was 2 different job pinnings, right? There was I
think it was mainly the security job.
There was like a guard sheep one and then a defend sheep one because there was something attacking the sheep, but it was 2 separate ones, really. But both of them were by the same guy.
Yeah, I think it was the same job. They're like, I think they said that they needed someone to watch the sheep and possibly defend.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds about right.
So, let's just go see him. Hopefully he'll take in the kid and then we can head east.
Okay.
Would you like me to go with you to talk?
If you want to. I can, yeah.
Alright.
Jacob, what do you want me to do? I can tag along if you want. Or, stay here and stare at the fire. With this one. He goes and actually pulls Wyatt's hood over top of his head.
Oh, they're literally so fucking cute. It makes me sick. I mean, you're more than welcome to join us. You're pretty charismatic. I'm not.
I know how to sell. That's about it.
Oh, well, shit. Might have to sell this kid onto one of these people.
Oh, well, that I can do.
Okay. Well, then, Wyatt, do you mind babysitting?
He's just, he doesn't say anything. I'm like, that means yes, come on.
Okay. And then, I guess we'll go try to find this Samson man.
Okay, go ahead and make an investigation check. You gotta, and throw it and use your charisma.
I got an 18.
What do you mean, use my charisma?
I was gonna say, you can use your charisma.
They're the same. 19.
19, and Nora?
Wait, charisma instead of investigation?
You could use either or, but your charisma's
yeah.
more.
Yeah, 26.
26? Yeah, was that Nora? Daggone.
I mean, she rolled a natural 19 and her charisma's +7.
Not a saving throw.
Ooh, investigation then. Just use your investigation.
Okay, 25. 25. Sorry.
25. Okay, still. Daggone. It takes you guys only about half an hour of going around talking to a couple of the individuals and asking, but you do know that Samson runs along the north area, the northern areas. And so you have to walk, unfortunately, for about 30 minutes out into the fields as you see this older gentleman, long cane that comes up in this shepherd's hook, although it looks like it's made out of this. No.
Moses.
He's got a hunch. And it's hooked.
Like a Moses. I see Moses.
He's not Moses.
It's Moses. It's already in my brain.
Extremely hunchback. He's slightly balding on the top of his head. Scraggly white hair as he's making his way across the field. You can hear him muttering to himself. And you every once in a while he'll let out a whistle and you just see in the bushes.
Has he got dogs? Perception check.
Okay, sure.
I'm rolling a lot of 12s today. That's 19.
19?
Perception? That's 14.
Okay. Nora, you pick up that whatever it is slightly white with little flecks of what look like pink and yellow. Talavin, what you see are essentially sheepdogs, the equivalent of a kind of sheepdog, but wildflowers have been pinned and braided in their hair so they blend.
Oh, that's so fucking cute.
As they're rustling through. There's a nice bald patch where the sheep are supposed to stay, and the dogs themselves are crouched in the tall grass.
I'm making a mental note that I'm going to draw one of these sheepdog in my sketchbook later. So I'm like staring one down, like trying to memorize it, FYI.
One of them, as you hear it looks over, has these big perky ears, these soft white perky ears that have a little bit of wave to them. This big black eyes with these teeny tiny whiskers, which you can see there's a little bit of, not dandruff, a little bit of pollen in it, so it kind of gives it this yellow tint to its whiskers. Little facial hair. And there are pink and yellow flowers just braided into all of the fur.
So cute, oh my god.
What are the dogs saying?
Technically you don't see the dogs.
I can hear them though. I could hear what they're saying. If they're speaking, that is.
Yeah, you get a little bit closer to the general area. Go ahead and make a perception check as you're listening in.
No, it was like 18.
It was 18 2.
Oh, that's a 7.
Just a 7? You can't make out what some of the further ones are called, but you hear, stick! Push! Stick! Push!
Oh my god.
Do you smell it? Do you smell it? Do you smell it? Do you smell it? Yeah, smell it. What does it smell like? It smells like earth. I like earth. I like dirt. You like Did you see that? He winked.
Nora's in chibi form. Her eyes are like glistening. Like, oh, they do such a good job. As she's walking.
Sophia's behind the Nora chibi form, like. Not Talavin. No, not Talavin, because Talavin can't hear it. But, like, Sophia's hearing it.
Okay.
So, like, Sophia's behind Nora's chibi, like. I guess as we get closer, I'll be like, excuse me, sir, are you, Samson? Oh.
Was that right?
Oh, God. We saw your posting for help on the board. I have a friend that might be...
Make a perception check.
Oh, God.
13.
15.
15. When he turns around, you see attached to his belt are 2 puppies. in little slings. They're just taking a nap in a sling.
That's cute.
My hand immediately reaches out, and I'm just kidding. I have a friend that might be interested in your job posting. I was just curious to get a little more information about it, if that's okay.
What language is he speaking?
I mean, he's speaking English, he's speaking common, he's just speaking real fucking quick.
Is he really?
Yeah, no, he said, guard the sheep, watch the sheep, or watch the sheep, guard the sheep.
Really?
Yes. I've had to read Madison's scrawl handwriting, and her speaking is like her scrawl handwriting. It's like a gift. I can hear her scrawl handwriting. I can, like, pick out the words. Most of the time.
Okay.
I can already tell this is going to be difficult. I'm wondering if
Petting one of the puppies. Who lets out a whimper and a stretch with a little yawn.
Focus. I'm just, my friend would be interested in staying in this town, but he has no roots here. I'm just curious if there's...
I don't even have a root.
He doesn't live here, and I just don't want him to be homeless. I'm curious as to what you could offer him if he were to help you. Instead of maybe payment, a place to stay, food, shelter.
Never seen even like zero outside.
Sleep outside. You sleep outside? Yep, that's a yes. Ooh. I gotta, like, wash my eyes after I'm, like, trained on her lips. I'm like, this is so hard to see. So you take care of all the sheep here? Or just yours?
Mine!
Oh, this man, his intelligence is, like, literally...
Because whistling again, you see more in the bushes.
How many dogs do you have?
How many?
I didn't understand that at all. I love your dogs. They're awesome.
Mia's petting the puppies again.
I want it.
Which one of them has a black ear, one of them has a white ear, and then one of them has some little freckles on his nose. He's looking up and just is licking his hand.
Animals. I have a direwolf puppy. I have a direwolf puppy. I have a direwolf puppy. I have a direwolf puppy.
Would you be willing to meet this individual to see if it'll be a good fit between the two of you?
Big persuasion roll.
Does she get advantage because I was helping? Oh.
Yeah.
Persuasion?
You get advantage.
Oh.
No.
She's helping.
14.
14?
Your persuasion is only +4? I should have done it my damn.
Obity cavity. Ian's walking.
Obity cavity.
Did you change your numbers since you changed your thing?
I don't get to change these numbers.
Oh. Okay, that's true.
Yeah, alright, so we'll be back later today with him so you can meet him. Alright.
Thank you for your time.
Can I do an insight check on this dude?
Yeah, I would like one as well. Just like,
sure. What are you inciting? What are you inciting?
Is that cocked? Is that cocked?
No.
What are you insight checking?
What's wrong with him? Like,
just like, is he just like?
He's acting weird.
I mean, like, is this just like is he just a little mental, old, probably been alone a long time? Like, he just mostly spends time with his dogs, I assume. Like, he just doesn't seem like a very social individual.
Trying to make sure he's not a monster.
Yeah, you're trying to make sure that he's actually senile and not
Yeah, like, is he
not just putting on.
That's a tainted 20. No, that is a 21. Sorry. So 20.
Yeah, that's just him.
Okay.
Just seems like a slightly crazed old man.
So, can I do another insight check? Would he be capable of like if I were to leave this kid in his care, like obviously like this kid's full grown or whatever, but like he wouldn't just like kick him out or something if he didn't do something the way he liked, or like would he really
checking the home environment?
Yeah, like maybe like a home environment check, like on the child services, like a child service check, maybe.
Is that an insight check?
That's a natural 18.
That's not an insight check. You have to ask him these questions. It's not like I read your mind and see that. You have to ask him.
No, I'm just gonna see how maybe this kid and him interact and see, maybe go from there. But that was actually a really good fucking roll that I just wasted, so that sucks.
That's fine. Go back.
All right, we go back to. All right, well we'll catch you later, Samson.
He gives this huge whistle. Because I can't whistle like this. And you see 14 heads all come up. All of the flowers woven in little tiaras behind their ears into their collars before sucking back down into the overgrown grass.
I imprint that vision in my head. I'm going to draw that later, FYI.
Good to know.
So cute!
Because that is literally too much cuteness for my whole life. I'm also going to imprint just like the picture of like a puppy in a satchel with like its little head asleep, because like
it's a sling. It's a sling. So essentially, there's a place for him to rest his chin, and then his legs and paws are just hanging out.
Yeah, I'm also imprinting that because I'm gonna draw that as well, because that's fucking cute.
That is okay. That's fine. We'll go back. How was the day?
You guys make the trek back to the town. Jacob catches up to you guys walking as 3 deep. And that was the most interesting individual I've ever encountered.
But he had a lot of dogs.
Yeah, I can imagine why. Could you understand? You were talking with him. You obviously seem to understand him.
Yeah, I just don't think maybe he's had a lot of formal social interaction, so I feel like he's used to not speaking. But yeah, no, I can understand him.
Maybe
I have a good ear.
Some company will be good for him.
Yeah, maybe.
Trying to rationalize leaving Elrid with him.
I mean, it's that, or the kid's gonna get fucking murdered by assassins of his own group. Like, if he's with us, he's in danger. Like, they're just gonna assume he's part of the group.
Probably. Or he could end up rejoining them. But if we can't do very much, this would be the safest place for him.
Okay. I guess we'll head back, and I guess when we get there, are they all just hanging out? Like, what are they doing?
Yeah, they're all just talking, hanging out. Wyatt is mostly staying quiet, but Elrid and Talel are actually talking.
Oh, really? What are they talking about?
Just asking questions about different stuff about like why he's traveling with you guys. Like, isn't it scary? Asking about spice, because after seeing your all's interaction a few nights before, of drawing these massive butterfly wings for the the young sprite. He's just asking questions. He's curious.
Do I perchance see that note that I left him of the sketch that I did for him anywhere on his being?
You gonna rummage through his pocket?
I slipped it into his jacket, didn't I? Is that what I said I did? I don't remember.
Oh, you drew a picture
of his
sister and said, "I'm sorry."
At the bottom.
Put it in his pocket.
Yeah, basically just slipped it into his pocket.
Yeah, you did.
Never mind, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
You all have the most interesting interactions with NPCs, and it's not even because of me.
Says the sheep lady.
Boom!
So just between your all's conversations of like, hey, I did this thing to this NPC, and now I feel weird about it, so I'm just gonna keep going. Like stuff that I don't even do. You guys have interesting interactions.
Do you ever like interact with somebody and you say something that maybe you wouldn't usually say, and then after you're done with that conversation, you're just going over it in your head like, why the fuck did I say that?
Oh, every time I talk to people.
And I'm just like, that's not even who I am. Like,
Yeah, it's okay. It happens to all of us.
Yeah, it's a little, I hate those. Because then it haunts me and I just like listen to like what I was saying over and over again in my head, and I'm just like, wow, I'm crazy.
You and Talavin are alike.
Yeah.
In that way. Yep.
It's like you're related.
Nah. Like your start growing. Wow.
But yeah, you guys make it back. Sitting down. Nothing weird.
All right. Yeah, this wasn't the town with that one creepy dude. It was the other one. I guess I'll just walk over to Elrid, and I'll just be like, the other day when we were in town and I didn't get too close to him. Whatever. When we were in town and we were looking over the job board, that job about guarding the sheep and being around the sheep, I went and talked to the gentleman, we went and talked to the gentleman about maybe what he was looking for. He's an interesting character, but I wanted to get your thoughts on maybe if you were interested in staying, going. He's got a lot of dogs.
I like dogs.
Well, there's at least 14 of them. If you want, we can introduce you. You can see how it feels when you meet him, because he is interesting. Older gentleman. I don't think he actually has a house. I think he said he sleeps outside. So that could, I don't know how you feel about that, but he was interesting.
I don't know if I know what that means. Interesting.
Unique.
Why its head turns and he's just watching you now when you say that.
He's just, I don't know. I feel like he spends more time with his dogs than he does with actual people. I think it might be inhibiting his social interacting skills. If that makes sense. Not trying to dissuade you or anything. Oh God.
Oh no!
15.
I mean,
I just to meet him first.
I like dogs and I like sheep. At a distance, he's interesting.
I mean, not
like I don't know. I'd rather keep on the road.
Oh. Like, you want to go someplace else?
Sure.
Okay. I mean, like, I don't know how to, like, Sophia is having a hard time phrasing these questions.
Like, I want to leave you with this man, but I don't feel right, and you don't want to, but I want to leave you here, but you want to come,
So is it my fault he's feeling like he maybe doesn't want to stay here? Because I'm explaining this bad.
Check.
God, fuck. Insight? 14.
Yeah. 14. The description of interesting old man with limited social interaction doesn't seem to be very appealing.
Yeah, I felt like that was... I didn't want to lie to him,
started describing interesting... The Elrid's hairs weren't the only ones who were raising.
Yeah, you said Wyatt was getting a little frazzled over there. What, did Jacob seem like he got, like, a bad vibe off of him, or maybe, like, a good vibe? Like, when he was talking to us on the way back, like, did he just seem like he was like, ooh, he's weird? Or like,
I thought the guy was interesting, and it seemed like he had found his groove. Jacob... It's not that Jacob was uncomfortable. I mean, he can be pretty much comfortable in almost any situation. He just thought the guy was interesting.
I mean,
not everyone's cup of tea.
I mean, you're more than welcome to travel with us to the next town, but
you do realize, of course, that we are still being pursued. And
we don't want you to get caught up with our group if they catch up to us.
Doesn't matter to me.
I mean, it should. It's your future. And you should be taking control of your own destiny.
I feel like such a parent.
I'm about to mom the fuck out of this kid if he doesn't straighten up.
Alright then. Okay.
Well, maybe, yes, maybe you want to travel. But, I mean, maybe you should meet this guy. I mean, you might, and maybe you'll, I don't know. I mean, there's sheep, dogs. You said you like both of those things. You seemed interested yesterday, maybe more staying. And I know I might have dissuaded you with my poor description of this gentleman. But, I mean, do you think maybe you would at least like to meet him? And maybe you'll get a better idea of what he's like than maybe what I'm describing.
Make a persuasion roll.
That's a natural 19.
Wow.
Persuasion, 25. I almost said 15. My persuasion is a -4.
That is a thing.
It is a thing. Thankfully.
Sounds like you won't take no for an answer, so sure, whatever. I'll go with you.
Wow, if this is what it is like having teenagers, no fucking thank you.
It is.
Insight check on myself. Is this how I acted when I was this age?
I did not.
Because I feel like, how old is this kid?
It's like 14, 15.
Okay, well, my parents were all dead by this point, so I probably wasn't acting like this, but, oof.
Oddly enough, someone you know was slightly like this.
My brother?
Oh,
God, fuck.
She finds your brother.
Yeah, now I need to, like, definitely straighten him out real hardcore. Okay. Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm not going to take no for an answer. Yeah, no, we'll I think it would be good for you to meet him at the least. And if you don't like him, then we'll take you to the next town.
Making you frustrated?
Nope.
Sounds like it. Throws his bow and quiver over his shoulder. Alright, let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Wyatt stands and catches you, Nora, by the arm quickly, as you guys are just out of your shot.
Grabs my arm.
He just kind of, if you're going with him,
No, I wasn't.
he catches you by the arm.
No, I was gonna stay anyway, but yeah, we can play it out. Okay.
Okay, well, he gets your attention, essentially.
Okay.
Like, when she says interesting, what does that actually mean? I don't speak your cousin.
The man was hardly verbal. It was very difficult to understand his speech. And he was, he did look quite senile. He sleeps outside with the sheep and the dogs. I don't think we're gonna be leaving Elrid here with him.
Yeah,
Talavin got her mom voice, so he's going to obey.
That's why I didn't recognize it. Yeah, never lead off with someone was interesting for... Never lead off with that.
Duly noted. I'm just kidding.
No, you're not there. You don't hear him.
Did Talavin get supplies?
I did the day before, yeah.
I
have it written down. I got some. Yeah, because I stocked up on some sheep, and I stocked up on some...
There's a word for it.
Lamb, and then I stocked up on some herbs.
Nice lamb.
Oh, wait a second. This was the town where there was that scraggly old man watching us. Wait a second. That dude that we noticed when we first came into town that, like, made us wary. Was that Samson?
No.
Okay. Because I have written down, one person watches us for too long, scraggly old man in a fishing hat. As we've walked back through town, have I noticed this person again?
You can keep an eye out. Make a perception check as you go back through with Elrid.
Damn. 16.
16? You don't notice him, but there is an older woman who's, as you all pass by, makes not eye contact, just kind of stares at you and watches you walk by.
I'm going to... No, I can't do that because I don't do hand signs. Fuck. Detect magic as a ritual takes 10 minutes, right?
Yep.
Or you can cast it.
I know, but if I cast it, I have to do hand signs and stuff.
You can put it under a cloak.
Yeah, but I'm going to just do it on my way. I'm going to take note of what she looks like.
Okay.
I'm going to take note of what she looks like. And just for, because on the way back. So, concentration, 10 minutes, 30. I can sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of me. About how far away is she from me? Just curious.
As you were walking by 20 feet or so.
Okay.
Walking by, so you cast Detect Magic?
No, not yet. No. I'm just taking note of her.
Okay. Good to know. As you all head out into the northern street,
was it just me
you all
and
walk
him?
toward... Yeah.
Okay.
Jacob didn't go?
Did you want Jacob to go?
I mean, I didn't know if he wanted to or not. Whoever wanted to come,
Oh, you
come. I didn't care.
You didn't ask him to. You didn't ask him to.
Okay.
Would you have?
I mean, I was assuming that we were all going back together, but then she said she wasn't going, and then Wyatt didn't seem like he was going either way.
So you wanted Jacob to go?
Yeah, I don't care.
She wants Jacob to go.
I mean, I don't want to make him get uncomfortable. He doesn't know these people. I don't want to outnumber him, so maybe it'd be better if he tags along.
Do you want him to come or not?
You don't want him.
You didn't ask him.
Okay, I didn't.
Did you ask him to go or no?
I mean, he went the first time. Yeah, he can come. I'll since Nora's not coming, I'll just maybe wait for him to come as well, just in case, because we probably shouldn't be going off by ourselves anyways. So yeah, I'll wave him along to come with us.
Yep.
What was that face? I have all my weapons and my armor.
I didn't say anything.
Yes, you did.
Your eyes did. Your face did. Okay. Also, curiously, because I was actually thinking, if we were to, well, no. Okay, we'll walk. Just kidding. I was going to be like, we can ride back, but we'll walk. It's fine.
Don't underestimate the importance of body language. Oh.
Sasana, by the way, is tearing up the grass. She's rage munching.
Oh, did I tell Nora about the magic?
No.
Oh, yeah, I never got a chance. I'll tell you later.
You're there. You're puttering outside of the city. As Jacob and Elrid and you all make your way back to that same field. As you look left and right, make a perception check.
Oh, fuck. That's a natural 19.
Okay.
Plus 7 is 26.
Okay. Looking around, you do not see the old man.
Okay, well then...
And you see some rustling, but you don't see the old man. Samson.
I literally could not have rolled any higher than that except for a natural 20. What is this man? It lasts 10 minutes? Nah, I'm not gonna do it. So I might have to recast it. I only have so many thoughts. I guess I will just... Well, I don't want to, whistle. I guess I'll just call out. I'll be like, hey, Samson, are you around? I hear rustling. Just kind of call out.
You see in the underbrush. In the underbrush. You see a canine head over top of the tall grass and sink back down.
I'll point it out to everybody and just be like, there's puppies everywhere. I don't know if there's puppies. Okay. Do I see we're kind of back where what I originally was when we were talking to him? Do I see tracks or anything? Can I do a
survival check.
Track him.
19 goes off into the brush.
I will follow the brush. Fuck it.
And you have to get down lower and push through the grass, and you can see every once in a while there's a pup staying low to the ground, tracking beside you.
I reach out, snatch it, put it in my pocket. I'm just kidding.
I shove it in my bag of holding. You track along, and you hear...
What is he doing?
What is he doing?
What is he doing? Do I catch up to him? What the fuck's he doing? Is he crawling around on all fours like a dog?
Yeah. He's currently doing...
Why? Oh no.
He looks around. Keeps digging. He's in exact contact with you. He's digging.
Oh my god, he's digging? Oh my god.
He's digging.
What is he digging?
Yeah, what is he digging? Does it look like pre-disturbed
He's digging dirt.
No? So he's...
Looks like just dirt.
Just straight up digging?
I'm just gonna be like, okay. Did Jacob and Elrid follow me?
Jacob made it about halfway. Said nope. Elrid is just...
I'm just gonna cover his eyes and be like, we're gonna leave now.
You have to track him to the brush. You're about 60, 70 feet away from him.
Oh, so he doesn't see them?
Jacob got to that point and was like, no, I don't feel right about this. And stayed put at 40 or so feet, so he's still 30 feet away from you. Elrid said nope to the tall grass and is just staying by the edge of the road.
Then I'm just gonna be like,
shoves his face in the dirt.
I'm just gonna back away. like a piece of meat and throw it at him. Here you go. For your dogs. We really love them. And then I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go.
He's got something in his mouth.
Yeah, I assumed he did. I don't want to know what it is. I don't want to know.
Are you sure?
Perception check, what is it? Natural 16. 23.
It looks glass.
Like what? Looks like glass?
Looks like glass.
What you got there, buddy?
Goes back through, starts digging again. Doesn't answer.
Do you need help with your sheep, bro? Or not? Because they're gone.
Peers his head up. Looks at the sheep.
I didn't know they were like wandering away.
No, the dogs are keeping them in check.
Oh, okay. They're just doing it by themselves?
Yeah.
Fuck, never mind. I
The
didn't say
sheep are
that.
nearby and the dogs are tracking around.
What the fuck? I'm like, what? Are you
Ducks back. His
Can I
eyes
tell
are
what
just
it
watching.
is?
The glass?
Yeah.
All you see is glass. The majority of it is still in his mouth.
What you got there? I'm gonna take out a crocodile bone out of my bag of holding.
Which bone?
Just like one of those smaller ones. I mean, I had a couple knuckles left, I think. And I take it out and I not a knuckle bone, maybe like something just like I had a rib, but those are kind of big. I'll just take out a couple, like a couple knuckle bones.
Spit it out?
He spit it out?
Yeah, it's a vial of some sort.
And I will reach my hand forward to give him the bones.
He takes the bones.
Take the vial.
His scraggly his longer, kind of scraggly fingers, which are caked in dirt.
Well, hold on. As I'm handing it to him, can I be like, can I have that? Can I have that? I'll give you these.
His fingers trace up your palm as he grabs the bones.
I'll give you a bigger one if you give me whatever that is.
Make a persuasion roll.
With advantage, since I already gave him some bones?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Persuasion, that is a 24.
Not a 20. A natural 20.
What? That's bullshit. There's no way his charisma is worth a fucking shit.
It's not. That's what makes it funny.
Yes!
He's a -4 for charisma.
Oh God.
As you beseech him, as you relay this, wouldn't it be better to have some different bones? He takes it, puts it in your hand. It's got his saliva on it.
And then I'll pull out, I had a rib bone. I'll pull out a rib bone and I'll hand it to him. And then I'm just gonna make my way away. I'll be like, thank you.
He turns around and grabs another one. Another vial.
Is it got something in it?
Yeah, there's this brown golden liquid inside.
Brown and golden. Can I tell how many he's got?
Probably based on what you glance by and see.
How many?
How many?
You could
A dozen or so.
A dozen?
A dozen?
Investigate the one you have. Sorry.
Well,
Aww.
okay, how about this? Hold on, real quick. Hold on. Hold on.
Begins drinking.
He's drinking the vial?
He's drinking it?
Yeah.
I have...
What happens?
Yeah, what happens?
Nothing. Recorks it.
I wasn't
back
going
in
to
the
do
ground.
anything with any of this anyways. So I'm going to pull out... I have 30 random... It says medium to large crocodile bones on here. And I'm going to pull out like a larger one. And And I'll be like, if you give me those, I'll give you this.
Persuasion roll.
With advantage? Since I've already given him stuff and I've been done well on my...
Okay.
That's a natural 20. I don't need to roll again.
Natural 19, but he's got negative anyway.
Wow.
He looks disheartened. Takes one, and you can see now the puppies, which used to be on his belt, are now romping around beside him. Also digging in the grass. As he takes this tray and pulls it out of the dirt and hands it to you. There are 18 vials.
I will leave.
Well, minus the one that he drank, and minus the one that you have in your hand. So now you have 17.
He just... What?
As he takes the bone.
We should keep this guy with us.
No, we're not. I will... Okay, yeah. I will leave one more vial with him. The one that he gave me, I'll give that one back. And then I'll take the 16 that are in the tray.
He buries it again. Begins pushing the dirt over. The puppies start helping him.
And then I will leave.
Okay.
Carrying a tray of whatever the
Elrid,
fuck this is. We're not...
You weren't kidding.
Yeah. It's
No,
fine.
thank you.
Yeah, no. It's fine. I learned... That was my lesson. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. We're gonna go now. And right before we go back into town, I'm going to cast Detect Magic as a ritual.
Okay.
Preferably away from if I see anybody watching, like just somewhere like, just gonna real quick take 10 minutes and a ritual cast.
Yeah, sure. We'll stretch our legs over here. Come on, kid.
And I'll just put those vials into my bag of holding. I'll check them out later.
Okay.
You have Identify, don't you?
Yeah, but does that work with... I don't think that works with potions.
I mean, you can get like the kind of magic they are. I mean, technically, Detect Magic, I can learn the school of magic that they are, can't I?
Yeah.
Well, then I'll pull out one right after I'm done ritual casting just to get like a general of what maybe it might be.
Okay. You cast it. You get nothing.
Not magical. It was just a couple crocodile bones anyways. And then we will walk through town, and I'm just going to be keeping my eyes out. Maybe kind of like almost walking from side to side on the road just a little bit. Trying to maybe get any form of like, maybe somebody's wearing a magical disguise. Preferably looking out for that lady or that old man that I saw.
All right, you walk through, make a perception check as you walk through the town.
Oh, that's not good. That's 14.
14. You do not notice them as you walk through the town. You pick up a couple of various faint flickers of magical items.
So I know what kind of magical items that I'm passing. What kind? Just like random?
A few swords, a few shears.
Okay, nothing worth my time. Okay. Can I also just mention maybe before we go into Jacob, the two kind of suspicious people that I was looking for? I feel like I would have said something to him. Just the reason why I'm casting Detect Magic.
What did you have?
I mean, I was thinking about it, and then I just was like, well, Detect Magic might be good enough, but I feel like he would ask me why I was doing it, but I don't really care.
He has learned better than to question.
Yeah, that's
you get that.
Too.
He's learned better than to question stuff and things. And if you didn't really say anything before, you should make sure that you say something to them before.
Do I recall? So now that I've seen White again recently. Oh well, never mind. I walk past the halfling girl again, don't I? She's in town.
Yeah, she's there.
Can I just like take a quick peek? What were her features again?
Let's see where.
I mean, Jacob is with you, so if he makes
She has two braids currently. Her hair is brown with, I think, tipped in green. So it actually kind of ombres. It's a little bit different than it was previously. However, you notice that one eye, as you walk by, she's currently watching the clouds, and you can see that one eye is brown and the other is blue, but around the brown eye there's this silver ring around it.
And does that spark my memory with anybody that I might know?
I mean, you saw him, an hour ago.
Yeah, so they look like... What about the rest of their features? I mean, yes, their eyes might be similar, but, like, do any of their other features maybe look the same?
You can make an intelligence check.
Natural 14. Plus intelligence. That is 10 to 20.
You have a +6.
Not a saving throw, so just intelligence, check, so that's a 17.
17? No, they don't look similar at all.
Sorry. It's okay. And then we'll just continue.
She looks over. What can I do it for?
Oh, I was just walking through town, just looking, looking at things and stuff. You watching the clouds?
Aren't you?
Not particularly.
Fascinating day today.
What do you see when you look at them?
Clouds.
You know, shapes.
What do you see?
Sometimes I can see shapes. Use your imagination.
It's just like the clouds. Don't need to make of anything else.
Unless you want to.
You're weird. She lays back.
Oh, okay. I'll walk away. Continue.
Jacob looks over. Did you notice the...
Yeah, that's why I kind of went back again, but I don't really... It was just the eyes. I can't really...
What's that about?
I
mean, I know...
I mean, her eyes look like, like Wyatt's, right?
I mean, he just has brown eyes, but he's got the silver. I haven't ever seen anybody else like that.
Oh, debate. I'm gonna go back real quick. Oh, she's gonna... Sorry, I know you're busy. I'm sorry. I'm just curious. That silver ring around your eye is so interesting. And I had a friend that has one just like it. Did not mean to make you uncomfortable. It was just, I've never seen someone else like that.
She flips over the edge of the counter and darts.
Oh, okay. Shit. Not gonna follow her. I'm gonna just back away and leave. Awkward. Shit.
At this point, you do notice the guy is watching you again. You see him down the street.
How far away?
60, 70 feet or so.
I'll make eye contact with him. Does he turn away?
No.
I will walk forward towards him slowly. My detect magic lasts 10 minutes, so it should still be up.
Nothing magic. You don't detect anything magic. The moment you start approaching, he darts around the corner, leaves.
I'm gonna go back to Jacob and be like, I think we should go now.
You certainly have a way with people.
Yeah, I have that effect on a lot of people.
Are you gonna ask Wyatt about that?
No, I feel like I definitely shouldn't now that I saw that reaction. Thanks for the heads up, friend.
I was just wondering that,
So you knew what it was?
No, I tried to ask him about it once.
Oh, well,
and he
got the same
sprinted.
reaction I just did.
Yeah, tried to sprint away. I was faster, tackled him, and got him to calm down, but...
I'm gonna rip out a piece of paper out of my notebook real quick and just write out, "I'm sorry I asked," and like just stick it on her, wherever the fuck that thing is, just like under something.
It's her stand. She has a stand, a booth.
Yeah, just like under something. Hopefully she might see it and just be like, "I'm sorry I asked. I didn't mean to upset you," and we're gonna go.
It's like you're like leaving notes.
Yeah, I prefer notes over talking to people.
Right. All right, let's go. Elrid is like, this is great.
That Jacob had asked him once, and the same thing had happened. Okay. Sorry. I'm back. All right. I wonder if I would recognize her. I don't want to find out. I'm definitely gonna like also mention now that dude that we just saw and be like, maybe haven't been able. That was the first time I'd seen him, but I've been keeping an eye out for him. So maybe just keep your eyes out a little bit. And there was a woman, and I'll describe what she looked like as well. Like she was also giving me the eyes earlier. So maybe just
right.
But I think we should go now. About what time of day is it?
Midday.
All right.
It's probably close to 1 o'clock.
About 1 o'clock.
By the time you all had breakfast, did your various experiments, walked all the way out and back, it's been a minute.
Okay. It's only been a minute? Yes. Sorry.
Actually, no, it probably would be closer to noon. Noon high.
Because people in this world get up early. Ugh.
Yeah.
Like now.
You can watch the sunrise. Sprinkle Columbine.
Alrighty, so that's
the Talavin can. No.
Okay, we're gonna head back, and I'm just gonna, when we get there, I'll be like, I think it's time for us to go. We should head out now.
Wyatt stands. He's like, what for? Did you see something?
I mean, there was just a couple
people goes to his dagger
in town that are giving me the eyes, and then when I stepped forward a little bit, they ran off. And I just don't feel comfortable with everything that's going on. I think it would be best if we left.
He takes his hand off of his dagger and folds his arms. He's like, not to step on any toes, but you don't think that was just a personality thing?
That did step on my toe, but I'm going to let it go. And I mean, you're more than welcome to go find these people and talk to them, but I'm just saying, I tried the whole going after and into an alley after people that were staring at me, and it got me stabbed a few times.
Fair enough.
Not pleasant.
Let's pack up. Zoom comes over, just begins helping out, gathering up various wood bundles. Jacob and Wyatt both go around the corner and begin settling up Buttercup and Naerstar to the cart. After fixing the interior, that was one thing, in the meantime, Nora, that Wyatt did. He went back to the cart and began fixing things up.
I would have helped him.
Okay.
Don't say anything, I just would go help and have him tell me what to do.
He's pretty nonverbal, for the most part, but he appreciates the help. You can tell he definitely appreciates the quiet more.
Really?
The quiet company.
I grumble under my breath just a little bit about personality defects.
I am still paying attention to the surroundings, even though I'm doing things. I glance
Go ahead and make a perception check.
I glance out of the cart. No. Oh, it doesn't matter. I got a... What is that? 11.
You know, all you gotta do is take some, like, acrylic paint and go over those, and that would help them tremendously.
Yeah.
If you want, I can try.
That's okay.
I can't tell what color that used to be.
It's gold. It's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Yep, no. Don't notice anything. Jacob's also keeping his eyes open. He doesn't seem to notice anything and gives you no indication to worry.
Okay.
After packing up all of your various belongings, you all head
east.
Where are we headed to?
Sherfield.
Yeah, y'all begin heading off to Sherfield. Since it is midday, you guys get about halfway. You all would probably arrive, since it takes about 5 or so days in order to get there. It's going to take some time. So, as your first night, for relative brevity's sake, go ahead and roll perception checks for your evenings of watch.
Okay. So 5 perception checks in a row or something? What do you want me to do?
Oh, no, just for the first night.
Oof, that's not good.
That's good.
And who's taking watch when?
I'll always take first watch. I just like first watch.
I'll take second watch. I got a 21.
I got a 14.
21, 14.
23, 19.
Okay.
So just curious really quick for my own counting. So if we left about mid-ish day on the first day, would it take us like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 days to kind of get there, or like full? Like how would that work?
You would arrive in the afternoon or later evening on the 5th day.
So 62, 63, 64, 65. So like day 66 about, if we're on day 62? 63?
Sure.
I keep track of the days, guys, okay?
That's good.
I like my day tracking.
It's like a calendar.
Yeah, it kind of is. Like, I don't have like dates. Would we know like a date? I mean, like would we know dates? Like, does it have like a date?
It's spring.
Yeah, it's starting to get into the very vibrant early middle spring. Everything isn't quite in full bloom, but the chill in the air has definitely eased and subsided almost entirely. Even for up here in the north.
Okay. Alright, so first perception check, and only 14.
First evening goes completely uneventful. You all take your respective watches. Thankfully, you hear the sounds of frogs, of night owls, and other nocturnal beasts, and deer migrating across the continent. You all wake up early the next morning, you stretch, you roll your shoulders, and head back out on the road again. Go ahead and make a perception check while you're traveling.
Second watch.
And this is for while we're traveling.
Yeah, this is while you're traveling.
16.
23.
16.
16, 23. Okay.
Who's generally taking third watch?
Wyatt, Jacob, and then sometimes Zoom. They tap in. There are some nights where you guys can say, "Hey, one of you losers, take it," and they will. Most likely. You have to ask them.
I'll probably always take first watch. It just makes me feel more comfortable. Because I'm like used to taking watch since forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally.
It's
years.
About midday on your all's official second day of travel. This is your first full day of travel. And so you're going into your second day since you left in the afternoon. The road itself is slightly bumpy. It isn't entirely cobblestone, but you can definitely tell that based on the various based on the various rainfall and freezing, there are cracks. Precipitation, that was the word. I was looking for, I was going to say perspire, and I was like, the ground does not perspire like that. No, that's no. I was looking for precipitation was the right word. Precipitation. Based on the various forms of precipitation, freezing versus thawing, some of the elements of the road have slightly eroded, which makes the cart jostle and make a lot of noise from time to time. Other areas, just smooth sailing. You will pass by many different fields. You can see that the sheep fields of Northon extend very, very far into the east and probably curve up to the north based on what you remember. You can see that there's a tree line nearby, and every once in a while you come across a few patches of trees. And it isn't until at the afternoon where you all are taking a stretch break that it's actually Jin, who, after stretching her wings, she takes a look back down the path where you've come. Her eyes squint. I don't mean to sound any alarms or anything, but, seems like somebody else might be traveling along the road.
I was afraid of that. I mean, I'd definitely rather...
I'm gonna look.
Yeah, now that she's pointed it out, can I maybe see a little bit? How about how far away does this person appear to be?
Very, very faint. If it's just specks.
Does it seem to... Okay.
It's on the road.
Could we tell maybe like horseback, not horseback, walking?
At this distance, you can barely make out anything.
I'm going to kind of look to the rest of the group. I'm like, do we want to confront or leave alone?
Jacob peers out of the caravan after refastening a few of the shelves, which were threatening to buckle, after you all hit a few rather gnarly bumps. Like, I don't know about you, but, I mean, I know we're being possibly pursued. It takes down some of the barrels. But, I mean, we fight everybody we come across on the road. They could just be traveling with us. Wyatt folds his arms. I'm not so sure.
Well, if anything...
I mean, yeah, people travel left and right, here and there. Maybe we let them pass us?
About what time? So this is about noonish day?
Yeah, it's about noon. 1 o'clock.
So, just gauging, are they still traveling forward towards us? Can I tell at all?
I mean, they're right now there's specks on the road. It curves around, and you can just barely see them.
Continue. Let's continue.
And then we'll just keep an eye out.
All right.
Right. Loading it back up, preparing yourselves for the next bit of your journey. Go ahead and make a perception check as you all finish out the rest of your day's travel.
Wow, this is not good. I'm going to switch dice.
21.
10.
All right. You said 21, and...
What'd you get?
10.
Okay. Nora, you do notice they're not gaining, but once you guys reach Trek, you guys are headed about the same speed, as they are not getting closer and they're not getting farther away.
Okay.
Dustina, by the way, is pouting. She keeps...
Oh, I'm going to be like, hey, did you know you had a magical horse?
What?
Yeah, that's why she can run so fast and so effortlessly. I was, the other day when you fucked up all that shit and I was riding the horses. Yeah.
Great way to start.
You're welcome. I did like a little detect magic on her. She's got a little something going on. Did I detect magic on Zoom's horse? I think I did. Did I get anything off of him either?
No.
I didn't think so.
Okay.
I didn't really know what it was, but...
I've never heard of enchanting animals. Or have I?
I mean, I dealt with animals. Would I have ever...
You dealt with animals, but none of them were enchanted.
But would I have ever heard of somebody doing that? Because, I mean, like, anybody would do anything to get a leg up on somebody else. So, like...
Make a history check.
Can I make a history check?
Yeah.
Natural 15. My history is not... Oh, my history is good. 21.
17.
21 and 17. There have been a few instances in history where other organic beings were volunteered to participate in various experiments. It seems like enchanting an animal was not very successful. But those are just the recorded.
You know what? As we're doing a walk, I'm going to get Michiko, and I'm going to put her on a tree.
There aren't any trees near the road. There are some patches of trees in the distance.
Okay, I'll just put her by the road then.
What, did we stop?
No, I'm getting Michiko out, and I'm going to leave her by the road so I can just get a look at the people. I will have to ride in the cart for a minute while
technically, I don't think you should. You don't have to, you don't have to be linked with her. She can link back with you. In a little while, you can summon her back and she can tell you what she saw. That's how your telepathic link works. If you watch The Mighty Nine, you would know that.
She can tell me what she saw?
Mm-hmm. You have a telepathic link with her.
But I thought it was only to a certain...
It only lasts for a certain amount of feet.
Yeah.
It's less of a back and forth communication. It's more like, I can tell you to do something and you're obligated to do it.
No, I'm saying, like... Okay, well, maybe I shouldn't bring other...
That's okay. I'm going to take Michiko, and hypothetically, I could still ride Sasuna.
I would not advise
hypothetically.
That would be foolish.
You can certainly try.
Do we have any apples?
I'm not going to give you an apple to be foolish.
Oh, I'm curious.
Just get in the back of the cart.
Begins stomping loudly.
I'll ride the horse. You can ride one and do your little thing. Because he's not going to go anywhere.
Alright, I think it's worth a try.
We'll switch horses. Because Warrior's not going to do something foolish. And I'll get on Cessna and give her a run.
Are you sure you want to go up ahead?
Not really, but I mean, that horse is going to explode, and I'd rather do it while we're prepared than when we're not.
I mean, that might spur... sure. That might spur the person, but... Who knows? Maybe that's a good thing. Alright,
why don't I take one of the amulets? Well, y'all have one and I have one.
Yeah, take
So if something happens, I'll let you all know.
Alright.
I'll get on Cessna. I'll give Warrior a kiss and tell him, you better be on your best behavior for Nora. No leaving the group. Protect her. Be a good boy. And I'll give him a sugar cube. And then I will give him a sugar cube, and then I will give Cessna one. And then I'll be like, we're going to go for a
She
run.
chomps it in one bite.
Scared to death. I'll be like, we're going to go for a run. Be good.
Eyes gleam.
We cannot go too far ahead. We cannot leave the group. We would be in danger.
Get an animal handling check.
With advantage, since I gave her a sugar cube and said we were going to go for a run. Because I'm scared to death of this horse. Oh, never mind. Don't need it. It's fine. It's fine. That's a 23.
You sure it's fine?
It's fine. I'll take it. I don't need advantage on everything. It's fine. I got it. Alright, I will get on and be immediately prepared for her to take the fuck off. Because she doesn't know.
We'll make a dexterity saving throw. With advantage because you were prepared. The moment you just squeeze your knees into the saddle and grab the reins, she's already taking off.
22!
Like a rocket, she just begins sprinting. Faster and faster and faster.
We definitely told
Suns are beginning to set at this point. Targaryen and Una are both beginning to crest over the farthest areas. As whenever you all did another check, it's a little bit later in the day.
Okay. I definitely will say that we told the group what we were about to do. We didn't just suddenly switch horses and me take off.
Michiko, in little spider form, looks so sad and lonely. Rolled up by the road, shivering.
Put her on. Oh, there's no tree.
Spiders don't do too well in the cold. Even though it's slightly warm, it's not summer.
It's slightly warm. She'll be okay.
I've never seen a spider look sad, but this one does.
Oh,
curled up on the side of the road.
Sad spider. That's the second quote of the day.
Who's the first one?
You can't wear a horse, and don't stop pretending to be a sad spider.
Writing it down.
Okay. Yes, and then I'm going to ride, and then just... Can I pick like some kind of, not a landmark, but just kind of try to remember where she is so I don't have to be out of it for too long?
Mm-hmm.
You can't reconnect her.
I can.
Once you've.
Oh, I can't.
No, you
Once you get outside of the distance, it becomes harder and harder.
But you can't command and you can't reconnect.
Okay, I'll just do that then. Perception check before I go. Is there anything around?
Okay. Make a perception check.
And like shake me if something happens. It doesn't matter. I got a 3 plus 8.
You look around and don't see anything too crazy in the bushes down the road other than those other than what you saw.
Okay, yeah. I'm just gonna... Alright, let's go.
And technically, you're supposed to use the spider stats for perception. Not your own.
No, she was looking through herself.
Okay.
She was looking at herself.
Okay, that's not how I usually...
No, I'm tracking.
No, I mean like when she's looking through the spider.
Yeah, I know. Okay, you get back on warrior and take off. Go ahead and roll a perception check with the spider stats.
With spider stats?
Yeah.
Spider stats.
I don't have spider stats. Oh, that's awful!
Spider perception is what? It has a passive perception of 12.
Perception. Oh, it's right here. It's wisdom.
Wisdom plus nothing.
5.
The spider's proficient in it. I'm gonna make
it says
double check.
passive perception 12. Spider sense. Spider web. It says tiny beast, unaligned, hit points, speed. I'm just looking at what I found. Traits, action.
Okay, you only have a bonus in stealth.
Yeah.
Okay. I got the 5.
Skills are plus 12.
I've seeing in this pixelated form of all of these eyes almost look like a kaleidoscope.
To Caleb.
A little bit disorienting as you grab a hold of Warrior. You hear him. Oh no, you don't hear him, Nicker. Everyone else does. You are sprinting down the road. She goes faster and faster and faster and faster.
I just urge her on. Ride the fuck out of her and let her get it out.
Once again, everything starts becoming a blur. As you're going past, there's these breathless moments with each stride.
Yeah. I'll let her
get rid of her.
She's disobedient. And you won't take her. A disobedient horse is a dangerous horse.
Yes. I'm a ranger.
I'll let her run for 30 minutes and then turn her back around and let her run back. Because I don't want to get too far away because I'm sure we're covering miles.
Make an animal handling check.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
27 is my animal handling.
Nice. You manage to convince the speeding Sasana to turn around and begin to sprint back. Again, everything seems to blur around you, going faster and faster and faster. As you're riding, you swear you are catching something in your eye and you try and wipe it away. And as she gallops, as she hits the ground, you are now in shades of gray and silver, black and white. Everything around you, you can't see more than 60 feet in front of you as she's sprinting forward. Roll another d20 for me.
12.
12. For a brief second, you see color, and then back into silver and black. Shapes, colors, muted.
Is it like the landscape around us is in shades?
Landscape around you is changed as she's running. Roll another d20. 4. Make it back. 10 things don't change. The landscape is normal around you. You're sprinting.
Wow, that's dope as fuck. Because I don't know if I actually
Faster.
detect magic on her. I think I just made an Arcana check, and I saw a shimmer.
She can run between planes.
She would run faster and faster and faster. Go ahead and make another d20 roll.
I'm going to try to get her to go as fast as she can.
She's going faster. As you urge her on, she goes faster and faster.
Oh, damn, that's a 1.
Nothing around you changes. You can hear her breathing. She's not running out of steam, but she's breathing harder. Make another d20 roll.
6.
6. Nothing changes around. Running faster and faster and faster. Everything is still blurred all around you. You can see that coat is just very faintly shimmering. Get another d20 roll.
A 1 again. Damn! Losing out.
Nothing changes as you are continuing faster and faster and faster. Get another d20 roll.
Wow, bro, cut it out. Stop rolling this shit. 15.
15. Everything becomes shapes and blacks and silvers all around you. You can only see 60 or so feet in front of you.
Can I move?
You see either side of the road.
Can I, like, am I able to, like, move my hand? Like, if I were to just, like, reach my hand out a little bit?
You can.
Do I feel, like, wind still?
Oh, you feel wind.
I've never been to another plane before. Like, does this feel familiar in any way from, like, maybe, like, when I'm in that different plane in my dreams?
It's not the same. This is very different.
What does it feel like? Do I still feel like I'm in the same place that I am, but I'm just no colors?
Yes and no. Odd. Very odd. Or make a perception check. Nora.
Oh, Nora.
In spider form?
Whatever. If you're looking out for you or looking out for
Oh wait, she can't.
Yeah,
She's blind and deaf.
Yeah, I was looking through mystical.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Mishka then.
13.
Oh yeah.
13.
Spider perception 0.
As the people were gonna pass by.
They're not close. They're still a fair distance. Sad spider.
Sad spider.
After about a minute, Talavin, everything comes back.
Ooh, okay.
Colors, shapes, the areas around you.
Was this happening just on the way there? Like my 30 minutes or my 30 minutes back?
You're 30 minutes back. This was happening.
Okay. I'm curious because none of the other horses have ever been able to keep up with her. I wonder if she disappears when that happens.
I don't think she's ever been pushed that hard.
That's
But she
probably
could
true.
possibly disappear.
That's probably true.
Likely. She likely disappears. I like the idea of disappearing.
Do I see them as I'm riding closer?
Yeah. Yeah, they're approaching fast, thanks to Sasana.
Can I try to push her? Once I see them and assume that they can see me, I want to try to push her once more time, see if I can get back into that silvery gray to maybe see if maybe they stop being able to see me. You know what I mean?
Okay. Make another animal handling check.
Animal handling check. Oh, that's not good. That is a 12.
Is she 12? You egg her on a little bit faster, a little bit faster. And she does. She kicks it in again. Roll a d20 for me.
Fuck. 9. God damn it.
9. Will almost brush past the group as she begins running past your all's group. She intends to keep going.
Alright, if it doesn't work, then I'll slowly slow her down. And
She eventually slows down, makes the turn, and trots back up. She has that froth around her mouth. She doesn't seem antsy anymore.
I'll like let the reins go and just kind of like scratch her neck a little bit.
She yanks the reins to her front of me and stomping proudly.
I'll let it go this time. Oh god. And I assume Nora's just like holding onto Warrior, just like blank faced. Okay.
Jacob leans out as White's the one who's currently driving the cart. Everything okay?
Yeah, just this horse is unusual. There was just weird things happening while we were running. I've never experienced anything like it.
That can be taken in a lot of different ways. I'm gonna pretend that it's one of them.
It's just like one moment I was here, and then the next moment it was like I was here, but everything was different. It was like a silvery gray, almost like a different, like an alternate reality of what I was seeing.
Weird. He looks, cocks his head at Sasana, who is still strutting.
Yeah, she's unusual. I don't. There's magic around her, but I'm not sure how or why. But I am interested to find out. Very interested to find out.
Make another perception check, Nora.
Come on, please. 2.
2. It wouldn't take much to notice the stomping horses, except poor Michiko is just having a hard time of it.
Could you at least see how many there are? That's all I really wanted to know.
What she sees are 12 legs just stomp by.
3 horses.
It's the 3 people that came to town whenever we were sitting outside. Yeah.
Actually, no, 4. 8. So that'd be 16. Yeah.
16 legs. Unless it's like that weird eye vision thing. But let's go with it. So 16 legs, 4 people. Okay. So after they pass by, I'll come back. I'll call Michiko back into her plane. Be like, good job, Michiko. And then if I have her in my hand, I can call her back and like, good job, and I'm gonna pet her head.
She bamps into the ethereal plane. She reappears as you resummon her.
Good job, Michiko. You did such a good job.
What do spiders eat, not bugs?
Blood.
Oh. You definitely need to turn into something else.
Yeah. I mean, familiars don't need to eat. It's just because I like Michiko. Why are you still shaking? Not really. Sorry. I can't help myself.
You put her somewhere warm, bro.
Alright, I'm gonna call her back to... Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna say there are 4 people pursuing. Although I was not able to make out any details.
Well, we'll just have to keep an eye out tonight while we're watching.
Alright. About what time is it?
It's getting later into the evening, around 6 or so. The suns are beginning to set.
Is there, are there trees around, or is it just kind of open field mostly?
Mostly open. There are some trees, patches of trees, but they're a little bit farther out. Maybe a quarter of a mile.
Like they're further up the road, or like off the road a while?
Off the road, in patches.
I'd rather us have trees around us, but...
Me too. I like trees.
Never mind. I'll just maybe try to find somewhere that looks... I don't know. I guess there's really nothing around.
But trees! Sorry.
As they're looking around, Jacob's like, are we pulling off the road, or are we trying to exhaust the horses and keep going?
I'd rather not exhaust the horses. Because if we need to leave and they're exhausted, then we won't be able to get away.
Right.
I don't think we should.
I don't know. I don't
make
camp in the middle of it.
I would rather stay on guard until they pass us or attack us. Either one.
You just want to sit on the side of the road and wait for them? We could have done that in broad daylight.
Well, if we have to stop.
Talavin looks extraordinarily annoyed in a split instant. Just.
What do you suggest?
I literally suggested this earlier. Oh.
I don't remember that.
Yes, I said we should either wait for them or we just continue on our merry way. And you wanted to continue on our merry way and then wait for them to catch up to us in the dead of night?
I can see in the dark. I mean, they're gonna catch up to us either way. Like, we're stopping.
I know, but
we're stopping. That's what we're doing.
Okay, then we should just make camp.
Okay, fine. I'm gonna stay alert. Helping alert.
I'm gonna make camp.
You do that. I'm gonna keep all my stuff on. I'm gonna stay alert. With hood up.
I'm gonna keep my stuff packed. I'm just literally gonna set up a fire and make some food.
How far off the road are you?
I'm gonna get about how. You said there was trees ahead of us, a quarter mile off the way, or just like where we are?
There are patches of trees about a quarter of a mile on your left, on your right, up ahead, behind. Patches of trees.
What's the closest patch of trees?
Quarter of a mile to your right.
I'm going to go for those.
You all guide the horses off the road. Wyatt has a bit of a hard time convincing Buttercup to go off the road. And you can hear him as the cart
I will pull out
threatens to tilt as they go off the road.
To help him coax her along.
Oh no, he manages.
Okay.
He manages. But as he's urging them forward, Near listens to him. Buttercup attempts not to. I'll make it. The cart is just swaying and tilting, and you hear Wyatt, I swear I'm going to burn this thing to the ground. You finally make it to that patch of trees. He looks over. Do you want me to undo the horses? Are we keeping everybody saddled up? Are we wiping them down? What's going on?
Maybe make it look like we're settling down. Maybe if they're not after us, it'll at least look up here that way. But maybe just don't get too comfortable.
Right. Goes over, sticks his tongue out at Buttercup, who is in this snarl.
And then I guess I'll give Cessna another sugar cube before I guess I either return her to Nora or I'll brush her down if you don't want to. I don't care.
I'll do it.
Okay, and then I'll brush Warrior down a little bit.
You all have gathered the appropriate firewood, things together, started your fire, and have begun brushing down, setting up relative camp. Make a perception check for me.
This is not gonna...
Natural 18.
Don't know what to do.
Perception.
15.
25.
15.
25? 15? Talavin, you notice this first. The individuals who were riding behind veer off the road, begin heading toward you.
Towards us?
Yeah, toward you. Not galloping, simple trot. Simple walking pace on their horses.
Wait a second, so they were on the road and they just veered straight off the road towards us,
yeah.
Or they made it to where we had veered off the road and then headed towards us?
It's been a couple of hours since you began unpacking and are keeping a wary eye on the road and the path ahead.
I will make like a subtle, like a type.
Very subtle.
Achoo, company, choo, achoo.
Company, two.
Just subtly going around and saying like,
Look up here,
4?
There are 4 horses, and based on your perception check, Nora, you begin to notice them as well. There are actually more individuals. They're riding double.
Okay, so
do they look weaponized? Okay, it was a 25 perception. Like, I need to know.
It seems they're wearing dark clothes, hoods over their heads, masks over their face. It seems like they have some. You can hear that there is some clanking of metal.
Why do we make bad choices?
Why did we make wait till dark?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect our fighting.
They're about 100 or so feet from you now. Here, Jacob. What's the plan? Are we talking? Are we fighting? Right out?
Let's try to talk first. Just be ready.
Keep your weapons ready.
Just be ready.
Quiet, hide.
I will walk up before they get too close.
They're about 70 or so feet away from you at this point.
And I'll just kind of.
Where do you go?
I'll be about 50 feet away from the group.
I'll go with her.
That puts you 20 feet away from them.
Okay, about 20 feet further away. About 40 feet away from them.
Okay.
And I'll just kind of...
You just barely manage to make about 30 feet when they stop. You see them dismount. 7 figures.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
There are varying heights. However, it is a smaller person who approaches and is leading the group forward. All of them hoods. It's almost like, oh gosh, not that one series. The hood leads into this cloak, which leads into this almost cape-like.
I know. I get
cape.
Yeah, I get what you're throwing down.
What?
Said I'm seeing exactly what you're throwing down, and I'm not liking it.
We're gonna die.
We're definitely dying.
We're definitely. This is the day.
Come up. Individual stops, puts out a hand. Everyone else is about 5 feet away from this individual. Clasps their hands in front of them, just looking at you. What you can see in the very dim firelight, their eyes are this very pale, wispy blue.
Alright. And I said I went up there with her, in case you didn't hear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, both of you are up ahead, and Zoom has his arrow trained on them. Jacob is ready.
I don't have any weapons out currently.
No, they're everyone's just at the standstill.